KY.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. 2 locations, Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Refill and transfer prescriptions online. Call 947-8900 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky. Also brought to you by Cayman Medical Center, Cayman's most awarded private medical clinic.
And UHealth, International University of Miami.
World-class healthcare in the heart of Miami.
The Light Room, your holistic sanctuary for physical and mental restoration, repair, and rejuvenation. The power that made the body heals the body. 38 Pasadora Place, Georgetown. Find us online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
In today's world, stress is a constant, and our bodies feel it. We live in a near permanent state of fight or flight, where survival takes priority and healing has to take a back seat. But true recovery happens when we slow down. That's when digestion improves, inflammation lowers, and the body begins to repair on a cellular level. Because healing isn't just about doing more, it's about allowing stillness and deep rest. The Light Room facilitates this. Make time to rest, time to heal. Your body knows what to do. Find us at thelightroom.ky or in Pasadora Place. We now offer full-body red light therapy as well.
When I first started going to Healthcare Pharmacy, it was because it was convenient. But over the years, I continued to shop there because I trusted them. One day I was picking up my prescription, and the pharmacist noticed an over-the-counter medication in my basket. She said, "I hope that's not yours. It will interact with your prescription." And I thought, wow, thank you. Trust is so important when it comes to your health. Healthcare Pharmacy with 2 locations, Grand Harbor and Governor Square, where they care about my health.
There's nothing more important than your health, and seeking expert healthcare with physicians you can trust is what you deserve. UHealth, the University of Miami Health System, offers peace of mind to you and your family with a first-class experience. Our patient coordinators assist with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. As South Florida's only academic-based health system, UHealth offers cutting-edge treatment, compassionate care, and life-changing results just a flight away. Learn more at umiamihealth.org/international.
Hello and welcome to For the Health of It. I'll be interviewing Emma ASCHER. She is from EA Body Sculpt, and we're going to be talking about fitness. Hello and welcome to For the Health of It, Emma.
Hi Tara, thank you so much for having me on. Really appreciate you giving me a voice really here in Cayman. Thank you.
You're most welcome. The gyms are being hit like, I don't know, an adjective that could really, like a hammer hitting a nail. Everybody wants to get fit. So I wanted to talk to people about getting healthy and getting fit. So that's why I called you. Tell me a little bit about your philosophy regarding fitness.
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. At the moment, the gyms are super busy. And, I shout for everybody there. There's a lot of new faces there. But what I would really like for people to realize and to do is not to go all in, get away from the all in mentality. And they think, right, I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to do an hour on the treadmill. I'm going to eat nothing but chicken and broccoli. And I expect that I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week. And that is the quickest way to disaster. Like, you're not going to, even if you lose a little bit of weight, I'm sure you would in that week, but it's going to come straight back on again. And, if I could just speak, is to just start small, because starting small and just building on those habits is what is going to sustain you for the long term. Rather, try not to think of it as fitness being a 12-week period. Okay, for 12 weeks, I'm going to do this, sign up to any transformation challenge. And then after your 12 weeks, what you're going to do, you're just going to go back to how you were eating before. And then people are surprised when, the weight comes back, because they've lowered their metabolism a little bit from the, all the exercise they've been doing and the restricted calories. And then they put on the weight that they lost plus more. So yeah, my advice to all those newbies out there is to just start small. Just think, have a look at what you're doing now and then build from that. And it's little tiny micro progressions every week, every couple of weeks, so that you build on those habits, and those habits become, so ingrained that you don't have to think about them anymore. So yeah, that's what my advice would be for all you people out there.
All right. I love how you just said the micro habits. I'm going to ask you to give the audience an idea of micro habits. Say, let's start off with the gym. What would be a micro habit for the gym?
You mean micro progression or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say somebody is doing nothing at the moment. Then I would advise that you start maybe 3 times a week, 20-minute walk. Okay, that's for your exercise. That's all you need to do that first week. And mentally, that's a little bit more, it's less overwhelming, right, than a great big workout program. So 3 times a week, 20 minutes, start there. 1 week, do that. With your nutrition, instead of thinking about restricting all these things that we know we shouldn't be eating, right? But don't try and restrict them. Try and think of food in more of an abundance to stop that kind of those cravings. So what I mean by that is keep eating what you would normally eat, okay? But try and halve the portion and then add to that meal more vegetables and more lean protein. So your leanest proteins are chicken breasts, shrimp and white fish. So just add those to your normal meal. So you're not thinking, oh, I can't have stew. I don't know. I don't know what you guys eat, but but try and eat your lean protein and a little bit of veggies, and they're obviously going to fill you up as well. Protein is the most satiating of macronutrients. Okay, so your carbs and your fats are very moreish. We have no problem getting in our fat and carb quotas in the day, because that's where all of our taste comes from, and our kind of mental satisfaction. Our taste buds are satisfied by that. But protein is very, very important for you to stay healthy and to keep the shape in your body. Yeah, so to create that nice, pretty muscle, that nice shape. So protein is very important, and it keeps you nice and full. So just halve your meals, what you would usually eat, and add in a vegetable portion and some lean protein. Okay, so that you're thinking that there's lots of food and it will fill you up. I promise you. Nobody should be hungry, especially the first few weeks. You shouldn't be hungry when you're dieting. All these whole foods are very satiating, very filling. It's the taste buds and the brain that you have to try and satisfy. But yeah, so yeah, start off small with your exercise. So if then you did a couple of weeks of your exercise regime being 3 20-minute walks. And this is if you're not literally not doing that already. Then the next week, stay with 3 days, but do 25 minutes. Okay, so it's a micro progression. It's not all of a sudden overwhelming. No, I can't do it. I haven't got time, blah, blah, blah. All these excuses start to come in. And you might think they're valid excuses, but at the end of the day, they are excuses. And it's because you're talking yourself out. You know it's uncomfortable because it's too much too soon, that you talk yourself out of wanting to exercise. You're just grabbing at any excuse. Whereas if you do a few weeks, 20 minutes, yes, that's manageable. Also, make it enjoyable. Listen to a podcast, music, YouTube, whatever you want to do. If you're doing work, if you're walking on a treadmill, for instance, then think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to watch a Netflix series, and do a deal with yourself that you're only going to watch that series when you're on the treadmill. Okay, so you're going to leave the one that you watch with your husband, don't watch any episodes without him, because I'm sure he won't be very happy. But choose something. That I'm watching Glow Up at the moment, the makeup thing. I think is great. But anyway, I only allow myself to watch episodes of Netflix or YouTube when I'm on the treadmill doing my steps. Okay, so if I don't do my steps, then I don't get to watch my episode. So you can do like a little deal with yourself like that. Also with the food. So now you're adding in hopefully some vegetables, some lean protein, and then say to yourself, okay, if I still want to eat chocolate or again, whatever, I've got a sweet tooth. So I do deals with myself with, I'll have a little protein mug cake. I'll make it from protein powder. There's lots of little things that will help you. But yeah, really try and get away from restricting all the foods that you love to eat, and just small progressions every week.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up about the sweet tooth. And could you give us some ideas of someone who's weaning themselves off of a sugar habit? Like, it's the 3 o'clock cookie. What could they replace that with? Or just a progression about sugar, coming off of sugar?
Okay, so if we're talking the processed kind of sugars, your baked goods, I mean, that's what I love, chocolate, baked goods, anything like that. But for me, that was like another life. I promise you, you can get rid of your cravings, okay? You can get rid of your addiction, so to say. But I still like a sweet treat. So fruit, I use fruit a lot. And like I just mentioned, I always have a protein powder. It's very difficult for us to get, our levels of protein up in meat, especially. A lot of people don't want to be eating chicken and fish like every single meal. So I have a protein powder and mix it with a little bit of water, a little bit of baking powder. You can add fruit, put it in the microwave and cook it for like 4 seconds, and you've got kind of like a chocolatey, add a chocolate protein powder, or you can add the Hershey's cocoa powder. Like, that's only 10 calories, I think, for a level teaspoon. Put that in, and you can add your own things. I'll add stevia to it as well to make it even sweeter. The liquid stevia is the best, available at Kirk's and Foster's and Our Naturals. And just be inventive and make your own sweet treats. So in that, what I've just described there's the sugar from the fruit, but it's not your processed sugar. It's not the quote unquote bad sugar. And that satisfies me really nicely after a meal. So sometimes I'll have my lean protein and my vegetables to try and get all my macronutrients in there. And then I save for my last meal at the nighttime, a little protein mug cake. Yeah, like what I've just described, a little bit of fruit, change the fruit up to make it a little bit different. There's sugar-free syrups out there as well, if you want to make it even sweeter. Depends how bad your sweet tooth is. But yeah, there's lots of little hacks, so you can kind of, if you can, stay away from the sugar, because I see a difference in myself when I kind of, again, gave up sugar. It did really make a difference to my physique and my cravings. Your cravings will go eventually, but the moment that you dip back in to sugar, you've kind of got to wean yourself off again. But it does get easier, and it's not like I never eat sugar. I still do. At Christmas, I actually had a lot. I'm here preaching about sugar, but I do still, occasionally if I go out for a dinner, then I'll have dessert afterwards. But on my main days when it's not somebody's birthday and it's not Christmas and I'm not on holiday, then I will replace sugar with what I think is a more optimal food that will get me to my goals and not push me away from my goals.
Did you say microwave for 4 seconds or 4 minutes?
45 seconds, I would say, depending on your microwave, and you don't want it to go really dry. Are you writing down the recipe?
No, I just I was like, 4 seconds? What the heck?
No, not 4. Unless you've got a really strong microwave.
Yeah.
No, usually between 30 and 45 seconds, something like that. But yeah, you have to check it. You'll probably get a couple wrong, like overcooked, and one not cooked enough, and then you'll find the secret.
Okay, great. Now, this is what I love. People trying to out-exercise a bad eating habit. Can you do that?
Absolutely not. I mean, it depends how bad the eating habit is, but people tend to underestimate the amount of calories in a food and overestimate how many calories they've burned through exercise. So let's think about running a marathon, right? If you run a marathon, you'll probably burn about 100 calories per mile. Okay, I think the maths means that if you do a whole marathon, 26 miles, that's going to be 2,600 calories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a marathon would take you, well, it would take a professional like 4 hours, I think, or around about the 4 hour mark, 4 or 5. It would probably take me 6 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 6 hours of my life jogging, and I'm going to feel like I'm going to die, right? For 3/4 of that. So now let me think about food, right? In a pizza, you know, your really nice thick base pizza, large 8 slices, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
In that pizza alone, there, depending on the toppings and the base, probably up to 3,000 calories. Now think about how long it takes you to eat that pizza. Probably you'll have like a good 20 minutes, and then you'll have a couple of hours break, and then you'll finish it off, right? I know that I could possibly eat a whole pizza. So you've had that 1, maybe 2 servings of pizza, and you've had all of those calories, but to burn that off and just get back to maintenance, this isn't, you know, this is just get back to maintenance. You would have to go and run for 6 hours.
But you're talking about eating that whole pizza, right? You're not that whole 8 slices. You're not just talking about maybe like 1 slice or 2 slices. That's about 600 calories though, too. That's...
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's say you have 2 slices of that pizza, and that's going to be, say, 800 calories. When you do maybe a cardio session, functional training, weightlifting, when you do a 45-minute session, you're going to be burning anywhere from, again, depending on how intensely you work out, maybe let's say 150 to 500 calories, okay, in that 45 to 1 hour session. So again, this is relative because it depends how much you weigh anyway, how fit you are, you know, they're very broad numbers, but basically you'd have to work out really, really, really hard to be back to your maintenance from eating 2 slices of pizza. And, you know, when you're sweating and you're on the treadmill or you're doing CrossFit or whatever your mode of exercise is, you know, that's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable sometimes. And is it worth it? You know, you've just devoured 2 slices of pizza in 10 minutes, and now you've got to go and really work really intensely in the gym. So, yeah, like I say, people underestimate how many calories are in like your processed food, especially things like pizza, and overestimate how many calories they're burning in the gym. Because remember, if you're doing a workout with weights, for instance, there's a lot of rest periods in between, so it's not as much as you think it is.
Yeah, that's so true. Now, I'm gonna switch us up to maybe like an older woman, older man kind of thing. Who, you know, I think generalizing a little bit just now and talking, but a lot of not older, but middle age, which I believe in our world is 35 years old or 40. I don't know. Our life expectancy is getting higher and higher, so it's between 35 and 40 and even 50. How would you say their approach to fitness should be? Or is it the same?
I think it's the same for everybody. It really depends on where you are, where your starting point is. And your starting point is where you are now. So if you're somebody that has done exercise in the past, and you've just got a little bit out of shape in the last couple of years and you want to get back on track again, then actually your muscle, there's such a thing as muscle memory, and it will actually come back to you much quicker than if you're starting from scratch. So your fitness, you could, you know, the micro progressions that we said, you could micro progress quite quickly with somebody who was previously trained, but had a little bit of a break. So if you're coming back from pregnancy, for instance, and you've had a couple of years and, you know, you feel like, you know, you've got yourself out of shape a little bit and now you're ready to jump back on, like, just be reassured that it's going to come back quicker than what you think. And if you haven't done any exercise before, then again, rest assured that you're just going to take it nice and slowly. Don't try and kill yourself on the road, you know, running, I mean, or whatever your exercise is, which brings me to another point as well. You know, you need to find an exercise that I'm not going to say to love. People say to me, yeah, but it's okay for you. You love exercise. And I think, actually, no, I don't love exercise. I don't love exercise. People are, yes, Anna, you do. No, I don't love exercise. But I like how it makes me feel afterwards. And I like how it makes me, I feel healthier than I've ever been. And I look better than I've ever looked. And that's what I like. And, I've just built on my habits for so long now. I've been lifting weights for 8 years that now it never occurs to me to skip the gym. It's literally like cleaning my teeth in the morning. Okay, so you get up in the morning and hopefully everybody cleans their teeth, right? You don't have a conversation.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But you don't have a conversation with yourself. You don't say, oh, but I've got to get the kids ready to get them to school, or, oh, I don't really feel very well, or, oh, I'm too tired. You don't come up with an excuse not to clean your teeth. And it's the same with me. Like, I find myself at the gym and it's taken absolutely zero thought process. And that is great because I've got other things to think about. I don't want to be thinking about going to the gym and having this internal dialect with myself, this argument like, do you want to go to the gym today? Oh, it's going to be hard work. I don't question it. I just go and get it done and I tick my box and move on. And then after my workout's done, then I can carry on with the rest of my day. And, if anybody wants to book an appointment for the time that I'm usually at the gym, then I don't book the appointment because my appointment is with the gym. I don't let myself off the hook and say, oh, yeah, no, I had a doctor's appointment, so I couldn't go to the gym today. No, I wouldn't do that because I can't do that time for the doctor because I'm at the gym. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is what I mean by people look for excuses sometimes. And, if you build on your daily habits, you get a little bit disciplined with yourself. You just put in a little bit of time every day, either consciously, eating well, doing some form of movement, either just a little walk or actually go and do a workout or, spinning there's so many modes of exercise on this island right now. But yeah, you just need to realize you just got to put a little bit in every day and then you can go and carry on living your life and you can still go out for your friend's birthday and, it's not going to affect your physique.
No, we there's so much going around. Which one is better? Cardio, weight training, stretching, or it all works together?
Ideally, it all works together, but practically, have you got time for all three? So, I mean, I do because my goals are very different to the audience's goals. I shouldn't imagine. So yeah, I do all three and it benefits me wonderfully. And if my clients come to me and they want to do all three, brilliant. I'll program it into their schedule. But practically speaking, yes, I want you to start moving a little bit more. So you have to look at your goals and think, right, what do I want to achieve? So if you want to get stronger in the gym, you want to add a little bit of shape to your body, then weight training is going to be where you're spending the majority of your time. So you want to, if you start with 3 days again, 3 days full body workout, start there. And then as you warm up, you can do a little bit of cardio because we do want, to have that good heart health. So I'd say do treadmill for 10 minutes, do a light jog if you can do a light jog, maybe an incline walk for less impact. So you're adding a little bit of cardio in there. And then if you can, 10 minutes after your workout, just, touch your toes, bend over to the side, stretch a little bit. So we can add it in like that rather than think, okay, you're going to do 3 workout sessions a week and you're going to go on 3 runs a week and you're going to do yoga at the weekend. So, practically speaking, that's not going to happen for most people. They just won't prioritize the time. So again, think about what your goals are, prioritize one of them. And if you get time, try and slot in the other 2 as well.
Okay. So cardio for heart health, strength, weight training for body sculpting, kind of, and bone health, and stretching is, I guess, for it all.
For your mobility, and just supplement for your movement, really. As we get older, range of motion decreases a lot. And funnily enough, I just went on holiday and I actually I worked out every day, but there wasn't a very nice stretching place in the gym that I went to. So I didn't stretch. So now I'm back on Cayman and back to my normal routine, and I did some stretching, and oh my word, it only took 3 weeks and I was so stiff. So that's another thing to realize as well, is if you don't use it, you will lose it. So that goes with your cardio, your heart will get less fit, your cardiovascular system, your muscles will begin to get less strong, and your mobility, so that's what I mean. Don't go all in for 12 weeks. You want to do a little bit every day and try and get all those modes of exercise in. Try and get some cardio, some weightlifting, some stretching. Sounds like a good plan. A little bit every day, and just be patient. And these things don't happen overnight, but we know how quickly a year goes by, right? And when we're setting fitness goals, if I say to people, okay, this time next year, this is what your goal, and it just seems like an eternity, right? Because you want 10 pounds off in overnight sometimes. But we know as we get older, the years get shorter, right? And we know that it was only yesterday that it was New Year's Eve, 2022. So think about now, in 2024, looking back to your starting point now, think how different you're going to be in a year if you just start those micro progressions, very, very slowly, adding in more healthy foodstuffs, a little bit more energy output, build on those habits. This time next year, you're going to have completely transformed.
Yeah, that is so true. We didn't discuss this, but I want to encourage the others. There's a segment of population that we really seldom talk to when it comes to fitness, but there are those people who are either recovering from a significant illness or someone who's got a major injury, and they've been sitting down, being a couch potato for a while. No judgment on that because they've been sick. How do they start back into fitness?
Again, I feel like it's the same for everybody. You have to look at where your starting point is now, and then you just build on that. So if you've literally been in bed for 3 months, then you would, hopefully once you can get out of bed, then you just very slowly start to increase your movement. Again, I just want to say, you get away from the all-in mentality and just be patient. Do little micro progressions every week. So if somebody hasn't done anything, you just start off with walking. Walking is, low impact, or swimming. Swimming is another good one. Very low impact, obviously no impact at all with swimming. But walking is very low impact. You don't necessarily need a gym membership. It's not going to cost you any money. You can just walk on the road if that's what you want. Plug yourself into a podcast, some kind of championship mindset podcast, and off you go.
Sure. Well, Emma, how can people reach you?
My main place to reach me, I would say, is Instagram. So Emma ASCHER Fit. ASCHER is spelled a little bit funny. So Emma ASCHER Fit. And I have a business Instagram, which is EA Body Sculpt. That's also on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel as well. I am building on that at the moment. I need to be a little bit more accountable with that, building on those good habits this year. But that's also Emma ASCHER Fit. I try and make them as educational as possible. And if you've got any ideas, please go over to my YouTube channel. You can comment in the comment section and give me ideas of what you want to learn about, and I'll be happy. It'll actually do me a favor because I have writer's block trying to figure out what to teach people, really. So YouTube and Instagram are my main places to find me.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on For the Health of It. You've been listening to me interview Emma ASCHER, and we are moving you to the life you want.
In today's world, stress is a constant, and our bodies feel it. We live in a near permanent state of fight or flight, where survival takes priority and healing has to take a back seat. But true recovery happens when we slow down. That's when digestion improves, inflammation lowers, and the body begins to repair on a cellular level. Because healing isn't just about doing more, it's about allowing stillness and deep rest. The Light Room facilitates this. Make time to rest, time to heal. Your body knows what to do. Find us at thelightroom.ky or in Pasadora Place. We now offer full body red light therapy as well.
When I first started going to healthcare pharmacy, it was because it was convenient. But over the years, I continued to shop there because I trusted them. One day I was picking up my prescription, and the pharmacist noticed an over-the-counter medication in my basket. She said, "I hope that's not yours. It will interact with your prescription." And I thought, wow, thank you. Trust is so important when it comes to your health. Healthcare Pharmacy with 2 locations, Grand Harbor and Governor Square, where they care about my health.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
This is For the Health of It with Tara Bush. Brought to you by the Health Services Authority. Caring people, quality service. Visit hsa.ky.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. 2 locations, Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Refill and transfer prescriptions online. Call 947-8900 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky. Also brought to you by Cayman Medical Center, Cayman's most awarded private medical clinic.
And UHealth, International University of Miami.
World-class healthcare in the heart of Miami.
The Light Room, your holistic sanctuary for physical and mental restoration, repair, and rejuvenation. The power that made the body heals the body. 38 Pasadora Place, Georgetown. Find us online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976.